Hello everybody! In this video we are going to explore Vesper starter snapshots from our Randomizer series libraries version 1.2. Since the release of Vesper 1.0, we have made this claim that this kind of library doesn't need presets because of the way of the randomization engine works. And we still believe that. So what's the purpose of these starter snapshots? These are basically not presets. They are starting points for the users to build their own sounds and configurations. Now, with the addition of step effects, arpeggiator, convolvers, etc., this instrument has become pretty deep. So we thought we should create a bunch of examples that showcase some of the possibilities, some of the things that Vesper, Abstract and Airchord can do. And also, these are not even all the possible configurations, as I'm sure you will be able to find many other ways of using these libraries. Having said that, let's explore Vesper's starter snapshots. They are all in alphabetical order, not in order of complexity, even though for a moment we jump to the simplest as a start, but then we will go straight from the first one to the last one in the list. So let's begin. I've got here simple start. This one presents Vesper's two sound sources. It's set on C major scale, and a little reverb is added to the sound. It's very simple. You can of course change the scale, make it for example chromatic, so now you can play anything you want. Or maybe change the sound sources. Or even randomizing the sound. It's just a simple starting point. Let's go to snapshot number 1. Alterning layers. In this one you can hear the two sound sources are playing in a random order. It can be useful at times. It's quite fun if we switch the step sequencer on. I like how the two sounds are alterning. This is because the mapping mode here is set to random. This is arpeggiator and step sequencer play low notes. This is quite fun. And we have the arpeggiator playing quarter notes, as you can see from here. And each arpeggiator note is triggering the step sequencer's phrase. And the motion is zigzag up and down, so it's not the straightforward. If we switch the arpeggiator off, you see the sequence is quite simple. And if I just switch on the arpeggiator, you see how the main notes are alternating and back all together. I wonder if I also switch the second step sequencer on, see what happens on the higher notes. So let's go here and let's switch this on and make sure that also sequence B is quite fast. But let's keep all the same notes. So let's see what happens. quite fun. The next one is arpeggiator above split point only. In this one I can play chords or a melody with my left hand, and the arpeggiator is working only when my right hand is playing. I can change the split point if I want to, so I just press define, then choose another note, and let's keep it on dual mode. So we have one sound here and the other one here. The next one is arpeggiator below the split point. This one is the opposite. The arpeggiator is below the split point, so convolver A and B and ambient pad. If I open the layers panels, I can see what's happening under the hood. Both convolvers are on, and I can switch them off just to check how the original sounds sound like. They are quite different when the convolvers are on. Even though the dry signal is at 9 o'clock, if I was to put the dry signal totally to 0, the sound would be really different. Convolver A active only. With this one, only convolver A is on. The synthy sound in layer B is still very clear, unaffected. The convolver is adding this analog movement. It's kind of sci-fi. This wobbly sound. Next one. Okay, this convolution also gives this tonal element, so they will not necessarily follow what you play, but they give a good sort of ambient cinematic effect. Convolver analog effects. Okay, this is purely an effect. If I change this one to another analog effect, and that, this is because the original sounds are quite short. And that's how the convolver really comes through. So that's maybe a suggestion, to use a short sound if you want the convolver to really be prominent. Convolver colors. In this one, the color effect actually changes a bit the nature of the sound. Without it, with it, becomes more metallic. So you can use this effect to modify slightly each sound. It works best with short sounds. Convolver, mangler, very ambient. The manglers really change the sound sources. Here we have a bit of dry sound as well, but fully wet, it becomes really atonal. So it really depends on what you want to achieve really with these sounds. Convolver movement. This is also applied to short sounds, and we have a movement type of convolver effect. And this is adding a panning and rhythm to the actual sound. You can also change the speed to a degree with this knob here, or make it much slower. Convolver swells. This one is one of my favorite, very cinematic. And the starting sound is just a very short note. But these swells really change the nature of the sound into something very different and ambient. Okay, with this one, the left hand has kind of a clear sound, while the right hand has crystals. Let's have a look. See how the crystals are moving. These crystals are really in the face, but we can make them a little bit more cloudy or blurred with this knob here. Let's put it to 20%, and then maybe change the cloud type to far. Now, crystals below the split point only. So this is kind of the opposite. We have the crystals on my left hand, nothing on my right hand. And the crystals are more cloudy and have also sort of modulation here applied to the sound. And without the crystals, sounds like that. With the crystals, layer B reverse. In this one we can use the mod wheel to control the start point of layer B, since it's playing backwards. With the mod wheel at 0, it takes a while to hear layer B, the reverse sound. But with the mod wheel at around halfway, you can hear the reverse sound coming quickly. So it's just a matter of finding the sweet spot. In this one we have some bells and a pad underneath that is achieved by adding a convolver movement to layer B, and also layer B is playing in reverse. This is a very long evolving sound with crystals below the split point. And the trails layer, which is playing 83% of the time, only above velocity 22. And also layer A is playing in reverse, and the two sound sources are playing left and right in a random way. Reversed B layer. This one simply has a reversed layer, so we can use the mod wheel again for the starting point of the sample. This is quite complex. We have sequence below the split point and crystals above the split point. And also layer B is being affected by the convolver. And the crystals are very slow, so they sound like a step sequence is going on. And also, the two sounds are playing in dual mode. So basically, with my left hand, I'm playing a sequence with just FM-ish sound source, while I'm playing with crystals and this kind of long paddy sound, the vibey bells layer, with my right hand. The next one, it's similar. So sequence A and kind of pad above the split point, but without the crystals this time. And the next one, sequence B and convolver A, I think this is the opposite. A pad sound on my left hand and a sequence on my right one. Steps effect on. In this one we see the step effects for the first time. So we have filter cuts off with resonance and distortion, step effects for layer A, and also Foreman filter effects for layer B. And there are also some crystals too to create some ambience. The next one is Trails Envelope, so let's open the Trails layer. When I play above 46 of velocity, and 89% of the time we can hear the Trails layer working. And the envelope of the Trails layer is inverted. You can also play a little bit with the LFO. Okay, twin step sequencers 1. In this, we can hear layer A and B totally separated. So we have this type of sequence, and that one for the right hand together. Next one, twin step sequencer 2. The mapping mode this time is in single mode, so basically both sounds are playing at the same time, but below the split point we have sequence A, and above it we have sequence B. And then the last one I think is twin step sequencer 3. Sequence B is playing in triplets. I wonder if I was switching off sequence B and then going to arpeggiator, switch it on and just leave it above the split, and maybe do only 4 notes. Something like this. So basically we have sequence A playing below the split and the arpeggiator playing above the split. And we can also play in dual mode, so we have So that's all for this video today. So please watch all the other videos to learn about all the other features. Thanks for watching. Bye.